I hope this isn't related to the fact that the last time I played this game, I accidentally fell through the world. There we go. Now it works. Alright, you guys can see it? Alright. Let's do this. Hang 10, Hard Rocket, etc. Oh yeah, underground basement. It's fun, sorta. Alright, let me see. I like to, even if I don't actually read through them again, I like to do all the little things, because I always assume when I play these games there's some little counter, but I'm not going to read these because that's going to take too long, and we read these last week, and if you were not here last week, you can go watch them on the YouTube stream whenever it comes up. This probably isn't necessary, but I like doing it, so, you know. Also allows me to reorient myself and figure out where the heck I am, what the heck I was doing, all that good razzmatazz. You get to listen to all the fun music. Alright, Andrew, go play your Spider-Man. You must. I will point out the dead people here are inviting. The dead people in Spider-Man are simply dead. Unless Morpheus is in the game somewhere, I guess. He is dead and alive, so. Now, the music in this game is great. I should look up and see if like the soundtrack's up on Bandcamp or something. I'd own this. The one part where they die pretty badly. Yeah, that sounds like a Marvel property. Alright, let's see. Can I walk up the stairs without completely eating shit this time? Hold on, I don't remember reading this one. Oh no, wait, Ben Franklin. I remember this now. Oh, Bandcamp Friday, that's good. Go buy things on Bandcamp on Friday because the people on Bandcamp get more money from you. Bandcamp voluntarily waives a bunch of their fees so that more money can go to the artist, which is nice. I like Bandcamp. I saw someone, as you may have seen, Spotify's been in the news because they've been torching their own reputation for Joe Rogan's sake for some reason. And someone pointed out that people are saying, like, oh, don't go to Spotify, buy things from Record Store. And they're like, oh, the alternative to... I love record stores. The alternative to Spotify is not a record store, it's Bandcamp. Or just buying, like, other digital music platforms that the artist basically sets up, like, you know, probably, like, the Warped... Like, what is it, Beep.com or something like that, I think. It's, like, a place for electronic music. A lot of Warped Records artists are on there. Like, go to those things. You're Joe Rigbone? Sam, what's his name? Is that it? Sam, wait. What's the guy who plays rugby? Sam what's it or other? Is that right? William Sailors, that's who it is. Thank you. Huh, how about that? I only played a little bit of the first Spider-Man game before I put it down, but that's quite a range. I would not have guessed that's the guy who plays Rigby. Good for him. I like it when he gets work. Alright. As you may have recalled last time, we found out that the nice man who we got the... Let's see. There's that. We've been through here. Go up here to the bar. Coffee. Coffee ole. Continue. As you may recall, last time we found out the nice man who co-runs the bar here is in fact dead. And we've been trying to bring him back, and that's what's spearheading all of this, and it was very sad. So let's continue into sadness, shall we? Journey into misery! Really? Rigby's the, like, is very much outside of his vocal range, isn't it? Pain. This is on you. There's no question. You are a failure. The council's going to take the cafe away from you. And you should have seen this all coming. Oh, that's ominous. Yes, Andrew? Something you'd like to share with the class? Well, how about that? Episode 7. Ghost. I'll be honest, I didn't play Mass Effect 3. I don't know who that character is. Day 3, 7 a.m. The terminal. This never gets old. You know, I wondered for a long time how I would feel if I never got old. And then I tried it out, and I got old anyway. There's probably a moral in that story somewhere. Ellipses. Pfft, when did we ever have time for morals anyway? You're a hellion, you know that? Even the mild-mannered can raise hell under the right circumstances. It's weird to think that you used to be just another... It's weird to think that you used to just be a mild-mannered student. I was just better at biting my tongue. Ha. If anything, I just hope that I was able to make your life a little more interesting. Andrew, I follow a, like, out-of-context regular show account, and whenever it comes up, I'm like, I should rewatch regular show. I don't remember if I watched all of it. I watched pretty close to the end, but for the life of me, I can't remember if I actually concluded it. Excuse me, I'm going to chew on a lozenge because it's cold outside and that wreaks havoc with my respiratory system. If anything, I just hope that I was able to make your life a little more interesting. We've had a pretty good run, mate. I don't want you to feel like I wasted my time on you. Or that having you in my life hasn't been an absolute bloody privilege. Can we do this later? Of course. I reckon I see someone walking over. Could you get the machine ready? If there was ever a moment when Maddie hoped a machine would fail her, it's now. Yeah. Let's make some fucking coffee. Here you go. Again, sorry for the wait. Thanks. If there were anywhere else, I'd just not come back. If it were anywhere else, I'd just not come back. But the beans. And I promise it won't happen again. Thanks for your patience. How long was I staring at the wall? 15 minutes by my reckoning. Shay's method of reckoning might mostly be based on hunches, but his hunches are formed by more experience than you can fit into most science textbooks. What the hell? I came inside from sweeping up the front, and you just and just saw you staring blankly into your mug while that customer was just standing there. They were being very patient. I have no idea how that happened. I feel terrible? It's no biggie. Like you told me the other day, our roasts are iconic. Our roasts are iconic enough that we can afford to get away with stuff like that once in a while. Well, yeah, but the context of that conversation was when we just fought off dozens of Ashlings that didn't believe us. How did Ashley even find the time to make that many of them? When we told them we weren't stray pieces of cutlery. Yeah. We probably shouldn't let that happen again. Trust me, it's not on the agenda. But like I was saying, people love this place. Even if they sometimes have to wait 15 minutes for the barista to stop hyper-focusing on her coffee. Yeah, I don't know. That isn't meant to happen. How long have you been awake? I think maybe 3 days? Good lord. That's bad, yeah? I'm honestly amazed you're not seeing things. Oh, I'm hallucinating hardcore. No worries there. Also, I keep seeing faces in coffees. They saying anything interesting? Nothing but echoes of my internal monologue. There's a lot of room in Maddie's head for those ideas to bounce around and revisit her. More espresso equals less depresso. Get that on a shirt. I'm sure it's a fun time. It's a blast. At least your hands don't need to be too steady to make coffee. See, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Shh. Anyway, speaking of coffee, you should make some. I'm already like 15 shots deep, man. I think I'd die if I have any more. No, Maddie, I'm saying you have a job to do. Sorry, I feel like you're trying to lead me to some sort of conclusion here, but... Sigh. For the customer, right here, who I assume is wanting a coffee. Oh, shit. My bad. I haven't slept for... What can we get you? 1 latte, 1 soy flat white. Simple things can really pull you back down to earth. At the very least, they're a reason you miss having both feet on the ground. Sure thing. Feel free to take a seat. We'll bring them over. Man. Yep. 15 shots, though. Really? Because just saying at some point you're gonna hit a lethal dose. I have some insane tolerance happening here. There are some things that Maddie has a hard time tolerating. Caffeine isn't one of them. Why do I need to drink, buddy? I'm naturally a phlegmy person. It's very unfortunate. I hope. Right. Well, I respect your right to make a complete idiot out of yourself and die in the process. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. Ha! I can't believe everyone's gonna know me as the person who killed her boss in a botched necromancy attempt. The only thing worse than getting caught practicing necromancy is getting caught failing at necromancy. You know? That's hella street rep right there. Council is gonna be too afraid of me to screw with me. I don't think they're too intimidated by you, fortunately. Damn it. Let's not worry about them for now, though. What should I worry about instead? Nothing? Buddy. I tried. Hey, actually. Where's Ashley? Sleeping upstairs. We're not gonna get much out of her for a few hours at least. And Kashin's gone off somewhere in the terminal with Ned. They're around. Somewhere. Good that Ashley's getting some sleep, though. Imagine if you did that. I'll sleep when I'm dead! Uh-huh. But also, she's okay, right? Yep. Just needs some rest and maybe a few days of tapering off caffeine. Oh, she's gonna be cranky. As a mule. Well, I have that to look forward to. I'm sure it'll be plenty of fun. What can we get you? What roast do you have today? Ah, let me see. You got your standards, espresso, Italian, city. No, I'm looking for something fancy. Fancy, you say? What do you have in mind? I don't know. Something new, different, special. Artisanal. What? In English, that word translates to artisanal. Thanks. What did it say? Artisanale. Fine. Artisanale. Thanks. Anytime, mate. We've got a pretty nice house roast you might like. What else can you call a coffee that feels like home? The beans are sourced from a faraway land, enchanted with subtle magics. What land? Tell me. They're from Brisbane. It's funny, I like that. What else? I'll give you our secret blend if you stop holding up the line. Ack! I'll take it. So, go sit down. I'll bring it over to you. What were you gonna give him? I was just gonna take a blowtorch to some espresso beans. For the cultured consumer who can truly appreciate espresso brulee. Come on, Maddie. What? Don't be ridiculous. I don't know what you mean. I mean, it's a waste of time for you to do that when you've got people to serve. Ah. Be right back. Day 3, 10:45 a.m. The terminal. It's just perpetually golden hour outside, isn't it? God, you weren't kidding. This is awful. How are you able to drink that without your entire face crumbling into dust? It's so dry that it would give Antarctica a run for its money. Antarctica is a desert, technically. Shut up. Heh. I find it drinkable because it reminds me of good times. Drinkable feels like it should rank right up there with passable for tepid compliments. What? It's thoroughly shithouse. It reminds me of lost loves. It's very worrying to me that your concentrated bin juice reminds you of a relationship. Oh, if only Maddie knew just how many hearts Che has had to break and how many times he had to steal his own. Oh, I've told you about her. Wait, you're not talking about... Yep, the fugitive. Putting it charitably, there are probably some other words that could describe her. The one who I took in for a few months. I thought you liked her. I did. The taste reminds me of her because it's smoky. Like licking a friggin' tailpipe. It has a vague hint of iron. I have concerns, Che. Never thought I'd have a succubus drop by, to be honest. Succubi are fabled for going after sleeping victims, but most of them have the decency to wake you up and ask permission first. Wait, you never told me she was a succubus. Didn't I? Well, I suppose it would have been inappropriate to mention that in front of Ashley. Oh yeah, her head would definitely explode. But yes, she was a succubus. I wouldn't have ever expected a cute demon to crash at my bar, but ended up having a wonderful, if short-lived, relationship. Flings can cram a lot of passion into a few days. Some people think that kind of passion density shouldn't be possible. Attempt one at your own peril. That's actually really sweet. Heh. Yeah. Still weird that the coffee reminds you of her, but I've heard weirder things. If you don't have an appetite for the unusual, the terminal is a bad place to find a full-time job. If I explained it to you, your head would explode too. Well, you mentioned tailpipes. Well, that's my break time over. Time to get back to work running a cafe doing barista things. I'm gonna go perform some barista-related activities, and you are welcome to join me, I guess. Pfft. Don't forget to water the plants. Water them yourself. It's your job. Busy. Goodbye. That was a short chapter. Probably needed a breather after that last one, though. It's probably for the best. I might get through 2 chapters tonight. We'll see. See how long all the dialogue takes. Are we seriously here just so we can be part of a robot fight club? For real? Is this why I was raised from the dead and sealed into a metal shell? Is that the only reason? Guys, I'm freaking out. Ellipses. Ellipses. Why aren't you saying anything? Guys. Ellipses. Ellipses. Heh, egg puns. Right, I should poach some of them. You're not wrong, Jackson. Seriously? Is that not a big deal to you? Nah. We only fight if we want to. And it's all in good fun. You're really endorsing capturing creatures and forcing them to fight one another? Sure, why not? It's not like we really have the capacity to get injured or bleed. Ethics, schmethics. Unbelievable. You two are unbelievable. Eh. Hey, is that the sound of someone calling us? I think it might be. Duty calls and all that. Toodles. Don't forget to water the plants. Where am I? Up here again. So are there new stories up here now? What's gonna happen? Let's see. I read this one already. I read this one. I remember the advisor bit. Delicate operation. Billiards 1. Fisherman 2. Game room? What's this? Oh. Right. Excuse me a minute, I'm gonna use one of these dumb Steam functions to see if I can get a... Oh, that's not what I want. Guide, memory locations, there we go. Go home. Go home, Andrew. You're drunk. Oh, let me read this one. Maddie came up the stairs to see Thomas standing over a sobbing Brad. Thomas looked over at her, and she beckoned him over the stairs. "Excuse me," she said. "Can you come downstairs for a moment?" Thomas looked over at Brad, who was sitting on the floor, face in his hands. He nodded to Maddie and followed her downstairs, leaving Brad to sort himself out in solitude. Maddie slid behind the bar, and Thomas sat down in front of her. "What are we doing here?" said Thomas. "Getting you away from him," said Maddie. "I think he needs a few minutes alone to get it all out. Some people like to cry with others, and others like to cry alone. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who likes to cry in front of others." "All right," said Thomas. "Can I get you another beer?" said Maddie. "I think I've had enough for one night," said Thomas. "What did you tell him?" said Maddie. "Do you need to know?" said Thomas. "No," said Maddie, "but I think you're struggling to figure it out yourself, and I think you might have an easier time understanding it if you tried to explain it to someone. I'm the only one here, so..." She shrugged. "You can think inside your own head, or you can think out loud. If you want the latter, I've got ears." Thomas leaned forward, placing both elbows on the counter. "I think I'll have that beer, actually." "You got it," said Maddie. "What do you think I said to him?" said Thomas. "Are you asking me to guess?" said Maddie. "Yep," said Thomas. "I'm guessing that he's a kid who carries around a lot of painful truths," said Maddie. "I'm guessing you told him a truth that turned out to be painful." "I think you might be right," said Thomas. "I think maybe I tell the truth too often." "I've got nothing against the truth in principle," said Maddie, "but not all truths have to be told." "You suppose I have to make up a story for him?" I don't exactly understand what's going on between you two, but he obviously cares what you think of him. He wants to impress you, but I think a false compliment would sting even worse." "So what do you think I should do?" said Thomas. "The kid thinks I'm a damn hero or something. I think sometimes it's okay to give people what they want and not necessarily what you think they need." "I give the impression that this would be his last chance to get that from you, too." "You may be right," said Thomas. But both the truth and lies can hurt people. They can also build people up, making them feel better. When you tell a lie, you're the one that has control. You can lie to hurt people, or you can lie to help them. Sometimes you hurt people without meaning to, but no matter how it turns out, it's on you." He sighed. "The truth isn't like that. You don't get to decide what the truth is. You can only say it. And whether it hurts someone or helps someone, well, that's up to them. Because we hide the truth because we think it... Sometimes we hide the truth because we think it hurts. So which is it?" Thomas shook his head. "Maybe it's neither." Maddie poured Thomas another Guinness. "Lies of omission are lies, too. Sometimes concealing the truth is just as simple as saying nothing." "Do you think you can hurt someone by staying silent?" Maddie set the glass down in front of Thomas. "Do you think the truth hurts more?" Thomas studied the drink in front of him. "I guess there's only one way to find out." He got up from the bar, leaving the glass of beer undisturbed as he walked upstairs. ... Brad's eyes were still red when he saw Thomas walking up. He tried to focus on the pool table in front of him, doing his best to ignore the old man. It worked until Thomas put a hand on Brad's shoulder. "Brad, do you know what the difference between us is?" Brad shook his head. "You played for glory. I played for money." Thomas paused. "You know how we're similar?" Brad shook his head. "Neither of us played to win." "I thought you said you were in it for the money," said Brad. "Yes," said Thomas. "But there are lots of ways to make money playing pool." Thomas leaned against the table. "I made my career on being predictable. There's a lot of money to be made if you can predict the outcome of events that seem like they're up to chance. Especially when you're the one who controls the outcome." Brad looked at Thomas with confusion. "Every single year I made the finals, I was favored to win. Betting odds were in my favor. I lost every time. Do you think that I lost every one of those games because of nerves?" He shook his head. "I played pool for less than 10 years, but I managed to make enough money in those few short years to retire. Do the math, kid. That money didn't come from tournament earnings." Brad let out a low whistle and looked at the famous Thomas Walsh with new eyes. "You're not the man you think I am." Brad shook his head. "I don't believe it." The old man turned away from him, almost like he was afraid to look Brad in the eye as he said it. "Like I said, I have no regrets. I played for money, and as it turns out, that was the right decision for me. But for you, I can't imagine anything better than playing for glory." "You're still a great pool player," said Brad. "No one can take that away from you." "And you're a champ," said Thomas. "That's something I don't have. You play from the heart." "Well, maybe if I'd done the same, I'd have a title to my name as well." Thomas leaned against the table, and nearly collapsed on the floor. Brad caught him. The old man huffed a bit as he struggled to his feet. "Plus, you've been drinking those fake beers all night. Maybe I ought to take a page from your playbook next time." "Had enough pool for one night?" said Brad. "Yep," said Thomas. As they walked down the stairs, Thomas stumbled on the bottom step and Brad caught him. "Feeling okay, old man?" "I won't be driving home tonight, that's for sure," said Thomas. Brad chuckled, and the two of them walked out of the building. On the bridge out of the terminal, Brad looked at the old man, who barely seemed to be able to support his own weight. There was so little left of him, and yet the man could play. "You're still an ace," said Brad. "You don't keep up that level of skill without a lot of practice." Thomas said nothing. You kept on playing, even if you retired. You say you didn't play from the heart? Bullshit. Thomas just smiled at him through weary eyes. At the end of the bridge, Brad paused at the threshold. I guess this is the end, said Brad. I guess so, said Thomas. They exited the terminal, and moments later only one man remained standing outside as the other dissipated from existence, gone to meet whatever awaited him after death. Thomas raised an arm. Taxi! That was a nice story. Let's see, which other ones have I missed? That's not what I wanted. Have you read this one? Oh yeah, we read this one. Da-da-da-da. I'm not sure about this, the third fisherman part, so let's go down to storage and see if we read it or not, because I honestly can't remember. I remember parts of that fisherman story, I'm just not sure if that's one of the ones we read already. Let's see. Jack waited until Maddie had left before motioning to Che. Hey, said Che, can I get you something? Jack nodded. Can you get out that whiskey bottle and pour a glass? Che glanced over his shoulder to verify that Maddie wasn't present. Any reason you can't ask her, said Che. I'm afraid of what it might do to me, said Jack. I wouldn't want her to worry. Che arched an eyebrow. Should I be worried? Jack shook his head. You don't strike me as a worrier. It's not about... I'm not intending to get drunk. I think if I smell it, that might be enough. You going somewhere inside of here? You're going somewhere inside of here, said Che, tapping the side of his head. Exactly, said Jack. And you... Well, I can tell from looking at you. You know what it's like to see a friend die. Che smiled grimly. Am I that easy to read? No, but I know it's true, said Jack. Don't count her out, said Che, referring to Maddie. She seemed more than you can read on her face. Yeah, but Jack hemmed and hawed over his next words. Seeing something is not the same as having experienced it. You know what it means to be experienced in losing friends. Che nodded. It's a feeling that I've grown well acquainted with over the years. I remember the day I found myself preparing for a funeral and not even thinking too hard about what I was doing. Almost going on autopilot until the moment I realized I've done so many of these I can mentally check out at doing this, followed by the feeling of nobody's ever supposed to feel like they're getting good at going to funerals, right? Followed by a feeling of, actually, we all leave this mortal coil at some point, and someone has to be the last one in their group of friends to kick the bucket, and maybe doing well at longevity just means outlasting your friends. Jack's eyes narrowed. How old are you? Older than I look, said Che. Jack laughed, but it was a forced laugh. Jack, damn, I wish I had that problem. I had the same thing, but in reverse. Che got the bottle of Jack Daniels out from where Maddie had stowed it and set it in front of Jack before looking for a glass. Jack picked up the bottle and studied the label. You've worked with your hands before, said Jack. Never worked a boat before, said Che. It's not bad work, said Jack. Never boring. From the first day I spent out on the water, I knew it was my calling. I had enough to retire after several years, but by that point I was so wedded to the idea of having my own boat that I kept saving. Did you ever become Captain Jack? One day, said Jack. I was Captain Jack for one day. Che held the glass in his hand, not setting it down in front of Jack. It was terrible. Shit luck, said Jack. The weather was clear. The water wasn't even that choppy. I guess that's why he got careless. I guess that's why he thought he could try and fix the net when it stuck. At least I assume that's what he was doing when he fell overboard. Che silently set the glass down on the counter, bottom side up. You know what the worst part is? When I realized it had happened, I didn't think. The captain, the one man whose job it is to keep a level head, didn't think about what I was doing. I just jumped overboard after him. Didn't grab a life ring or anything. Stupid. If you ever find yourself in that position where you jump overboard, all you're doing is making this problem twice as big. There is nothing I can imagine that compares to the sense of dread and regret I felt in the moment as I felt myself sinking below the surface. Can you imagine that? Having that kind of thought? They say that when you're in intense physical pain, it's supposed to block out anything. You can't feel anger or sadness or regret or wistfulness when there's 1,000 needles stabbing you all over at once, which is exactly what it feels like when you jump into that freezing Alaskan surf. That's what you don't realize about cold until you're totally immersed in it. You don't feel cold, you feel pain. All over. And somehow in the midst of all that pain, it's still possible to think, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Dumbass. When I left over, I guess I imagined myself swimming around in the water looking for him, and actually did try opening my eyes. Big mistake. The Pacific Ocean, I'm not sure if you knew this, but it's salt water. Somehow, that's even more painful than the thousands of pins and needles stinging you all around, reminding you that the water is freezing and you're not supposed to be in it. You know what the crazy thing is? They managed to fish me out. Terrible pun, sorry. They found me. They threw me a line. Irony is, I almost died of hypothermia there on the deck. Being soaked fucking cold in that cold Arctic wind. You know, hypothermia can kill a man almost as fast as drowning can. I didn't even make it to Cal's funeral. Couldn't bear to look his girl in the eye. Nobody blamed me as captain. Cal should have known better than to do what he did. Did know better. But all I could ever think was, what if I hadn't jumped over? If they hadn't been busy pulling my stupid ass out of the water, would they have found Cal? And I knew that if I was thinking it, then she had to be thinking it too. They all had to be thinking it. I couldn't face that. All I could do was sit at home, and every time I walked into the bathroom, I passed the display full of these bottles. He tapped the bottle of whiskey on the counter. Hypothermia can kill you in 5 minutes. Drowning can kill you in 3. Drinking yourself to death? It takes a lot longer than that. But not much longer. He looked up at Che. I just want to smell it. Jack glanced at what little remained of the halibut Che grilled for him. The fish didn't do it for you, huh? Said Che. Jack shook his head. Like I said, smelled too good. Che dutifully uncorked the whiskey and poured out a finger. Jack held the glass under his nose and inhaled deeply. Yeah, this is the smell I was looking for. There it is. That's the smell that makes me feel sick to my stomach. He stood up. I think I'm ready to go. That was good but sad. A lot of this game is good but sad. I think I've done all these. Oh boy. Alright, well, on to the next one, I guess. And I think if we do this one, that means it'll be, let's see. Okay, since we've done everything else, so after we do this one, there'll be one more after that. Let's see how far we get into it. Yes. It's a heck of a facial expression she's got there. Hello? Who's scurrying around the cafe? It's Nettie. These bloody things, I just... Now who's making a mess? Shite. Don't scare me like that, you wanker. You'll... mate. You don't look so good. This thing? Yes, Che. It's fine. It very obviously is not. You keep yourself together. Fine. I've only seen this once before. People don't tend to last as long as you or I. And even when they do, it hurts like hell, yeah. Shay's never been to hell, but he's pretty sure he wouldn't like it. Does Maddie know about this? No. She's got enough guilt to deal with. I'm sure she just believes I'm uncomfortable like Kashan is. What stage is he at? Headaches, memory loss. We had a bit of a chat about it yesterday. Shay, I know, I'm not staying much longer. I'll stop disturbing the balance before long. Balance just means things aren't changing. It's not always a good thing. Some balances need to be upset. Damn the balance. You're falling apart as I watch. Like I said, I'm not staying too long. I cannot believe Maddie's presumptuousness. Maddie likes to presume things. It's easy, and it reduces the amount of time she has to spend listening to other people talking. Hey, cut it out. She realizes that she's messed up. She realizes that she's messed up, and she's doing her best to make amends. Surely it's too late for that. I don't think so. Come on. Come sit down. Get a lot of expression out of that one thing, don't they? Things aren't that bad. No. No. I might be dying, and I might be having to deal with a lot of pain and guilt, but... Guilt? I feel like I failed as a mentor for Maddie. She's not going to regain her confidence for a long time, I think. It's even harder to regain your confidence when you've got no one to confide in. In necromancy? Just in general. It's easy to second-guess yourself over every little decision after something big like this happens. I'd appreciate if you second-guessed yourself a little more often, to be honest. I'm sure you would. Anyways, aside from the pain, and the guilt, and the impending death... Impending death might be the worst kind of death. When death comes, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I feel quite good. Yeah, you sound like you're doing great. Ha. I'm just happy she doesn't feel like she has to save me anymore. Even if that's just a result of her not managing to pull off the ritual. I don't feel like it was ever about the ritual, was it? No. We tried it the first time just because we were feeling like doing something risky. Something that could give us a little extra breathing room. Breathing room for getting the council off our backs, actually. Getting some space to pursue our studies without outside interference. It's hard to study when someone is constantly looking over your shoulder, especially when you're studying things you're not supposed to be. Oh. But even that was just, I don't know, maybe motivated by spite or something. You've got plenty of reasons to feel that way towards us. I don't feel that way towards you, mate. You know that, right? I had some doubts. You might be a constant needle in my side, but you're also one of my oldest friends, and that means a lot more than any sort of affiliation with a bunch of snobbish prudes who wouldn't know innovation if it slapped them in the face. Oof. That doesn't mean I don't miss the good times we had. You were undermining governments before it was cool. You mean the prank letter we kept sending to Parliament in '77? The Council of Death isn't the only governing body that the Terminal's residents have a semi-permanent beef with. Subversive pushes for real democracy. Uh-huh. You know, even when I met you, you seemed like you'd never die. I didn't know anything about you, but you had a weird energy about you. I didn't plan on it, really. The plan was to stick around for as long as I wanted, and then move onwards when I felt like it. A rolling stone might be plummeting towards danger, but at least it's not gathering any moss. Do you feel like moving on? I'm getting more comfortable with the idea. Icarus didn't want to fall into the ocean either, but everything's gonna fall out of the sky at some point, and Maddie's just trying to catch me. You're not actually okay with this. No, I'm not. Lying to myself is easier than admitting that. Ellipses. I'm gonna miss you, mate. Jay has never tried to draw attention to himself, and yet his absence is always felt. I hope you won't forget me. Forget you? I'm going to stick a photo of you up on the wall in our office. Big one! Ha. But seriously, I want you to know that you've been a good friend, even though we've taken different paths. When they caught me and pressed me into service, seeing you again was the thing that really brought me back to life. Made me realize I could live like this, stuck here, because there was no one else left for me. Nobody who could see me, at least. You know? I won't forget that. That means a lot to hear. Thank you. friend. Hey. You alright, mate? I'm going to sit here for a bit if that's okay. Right here on the ground. If you'd like me to leave, just let me know at any time and I'll let you be. Alright? It's a nice day out. The weather here can be a pain in the arse. But days like this, they make it worth it, you know? I love to just sit and let the sun warm me. Sometimes when basking in the sun on a lazy afternoon, Shay really does start to feel like everything is going to be alright. It's been a couple of weeks since it happened now, and I feel like the sun's warmth is the only thing that really helps pull myself together. Yeah, what are you feeling? What you're feeling? I'm feeling it too, pretty intensely. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. A few times a day, I totally lose myself, as in my sense of self, and also my physical self. But if you plan on sticking around and taking up a position with the council, that'll go away. You definitely don't want to stick around as long as I have. I don't have to assume intent or anything. I just had a hunch seeing as you were talking to Ned. They're not evil. They're just impartial, which is its own kind of cruelty. They wouldn't judge you if you wanted to stay either. I wouldn't judge you if you want to stay either. There are plenty of delights hidden in Melbourne's dark corners. Ned can show you around, if you ask nice enough. I'm sorry, mate. I've got to ask, is this helping at all? Because I'm honestly happy to sit here in silence. I thought you'd appreciate a yarn, though. No, it's fine. Alright. So, fun things in Melbourne. I suppose this story starts around the 1860s when I first came over. Learned the language pretty quick. Not that it helped with dealing with the colonials. Oof. What did you come over for? Gold. Same as everyone else. And so? Then he showed me these ridiculous drawings of himself wearing armor, like a medieval knight. For those of you who don't know your history, he's talking about Ned Kelly, who, as we previously established, literally wore a suit of armor while he went around robbing things. He's kind of great. Always had an odd noble streak in him. Maybe he didn't aim it in the right direction all the time. But then he left before I could help him use it a little more productively. And things changed pretty quickly after that. I see. It's never too late, though. Maybe you'll be able to help him rekindle it, huh? Keep an eye on the candle. Sometimes you need to let it get dim, just to remind ourselves of why we need to keep it burning. Me? Oh, I don't think I could. It'd be easier than you think. I'll have to take your word for it. Heh. Regardless of whether you decide to meddle, do take care of him for me, alright? That man has a lot of pain, and Maddie's not necessarily always the nicest about it. I know what I'm asking. I know that I'm asking a lot. You don't have to coddle him or anything. Just watch out for him, when you can. I think I can do that. Thank... Chaos. You heard that, right? Yeah, what, the noise inside? Yes. Is it something bad? I have a rough idea of what it is. No need to worry. I'll deal with it. And if I don't see you before I go, you will. I'll make sure I'm here. See you in a little bit, then. Get him, Cooper! Make your creator proud! Oh, this is adorable. Palmer, stop slacking! Duck and weave! Kick his ass! That's an order! Ashley! Wah! No knife this time? I mean, what? Turn around. Now how'd this get... Oh. Yeah, it went straight through you. Interesting. I'll say, you should perhaps not do this in the future, though. Most people aren't as Insubstantial is me. I'm trying to wean myself off the habit, yeah? You'll notice that this knife is slightly smaller than my previous one. I honestly can't tell the difference. But I'll take your word for it. I'll be throwing butter knives at the back of Maddie's head before you know it. Don't worry. Please don't murder each other after I go. Of course not. No, really. It'd break my heart if you two stopped being friends over something silly. I won't let it happen. Good. Now, what's happening here? Just doing some prototyping for Row Battle Royale. Ah, that name though. What about it? I just feel like everything's a battle royale these days. Sly commentary on the part of the creators. I have no idea what you're talking about, old man. Never mind. What's the story with these poor things? Cooper and Palmer? I want to see if they still remember Asimov's law of robotics. Give me one moment, folks. I need to do a quick thing. Sorry for the brief pause. We shall return to you to your regularly scheduled video gaming in a couple of seconds. Enjoy the nice music in the interim. Asimov may have been ahead of his time, but he was also a man of his time. And did they? No, Palmer gave me a light stabbing. Oh dear. Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, I like to give them a little taste of blood every now and then. There's nothing like the smell of blood to bring out the predator that's been kept hidden all this time. Makes them fight better, hungrier, hungry for victory and blood. And I'm assuming you'd rather them not follow Asimov's laws? You assume correctly. Please don't let these mix in with the rest. It'll be impossible to tell them apart. Why would that be a bad thing, though? Because they'd be terrible at delivering coffee if they knew they could use the mugs as projectile weapons? I think they'd be extremely enthusiastic. I won't, though, don't worry. I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Look at you, turning into a responsible human being. Hey, you take that back. No, I'm proud. When you see the next generation ready to pick up the torch, you can rest easy knowing that the future is in good hands. With you and Maddie in charge, I feel like I've left the cafe in good hands. We'll do our best to make you proud, you old fart. What'd I do to deserve that? Getting all sappy on me. Ah, if you'd rather me not talk about it. Nah, it's fine. I feel pretty good about it. Good? People always come and go from here, right? Oh, I suppose you're used to it. I think so. I sort of expected to be all sad and emotional, but this is just another goodbye. And that's fine. I'm going to be sad, yeah, but I don't think this is a new feeling. Plus, you're always going to be around here to some degree. Can't have a cafe without the Che. You're a good egg, you know? What? Oh, I was assuming there was going to be some kind of pun following that. I would never. Would you not? I probably would. The truth! It's finally revealed! Sensible chuckles. Good. Because I'm great and you don't need any encouragement. Good egg? Really? I called you that because when you're around, it's always a shell of a good time. It's beautiful character animation. Or design, whatever. I'm always cracking up. Jay's skin cracks less than you'd expect from a man of his age, but he's always ready to crack a smile. I knew I was going to enjoy this game. New reaction image set right here. You got an excellent poker face there. Oh, Che, you should be happy you're insubstantial. She would murder you. Don't you like my yolks? I'm not scrambling the delivery, am I? Whew, here you go. Let me know if I can get you anything else. Can't leave you for a moment without you being mean to the customers, can I? You gotta stop appearing out of nowhere, man. You're gonna give me heart palpitations. When your heart starts pounding violently inside of your chest, you start to realize just how much you take that thing for granted. But you didn't even jump! I'm very startled. Internally. Maddie wears her emotions on the inside of her sleeve. Well, enjoy it while you can. You're gonna keep using that excuse for everything, aren't you? Might as well, right? I guess I'll let you get away with it. How generous. But you gotta come downstairs and help me figure out some stuff. What sort of stuff? Science stuff! You want to troubleshoot the ritual, don't you? When you go to shoot trouble, bring a long barrel, a good scope, and a patient trigger figure. Yep. Are you sure you want to do that instead of anything else? Uh-huh. Maybe don't do it, Jay. Slow panning shots. What the shit? I don't remember leaving it like this. Unless you let a gorilla in after I left or something. That didn't happen as far as I'm aware. Oh, duh. I'll just tap into the building's subliminal memory. And here. That absolute rat bag. Magic caps, exotic chalks, and not a single thought for how they're used or for obtaining the proper import licenses or... Arg. I'm gonna have to shut it down. No question. Ah, shit. Well, that's not a good sign. Not surprising, though. That's a problem for later. Really? Yep. God, just look at these magic caps. They're totally fried. Maddie, I wonder if we just need some really big resistors in this circuit. What would that achieve? It just get hotter and we lose some of the energy. No, I think there might have been too much energy at that point. So if we dissipate some of it during the second phase when we were trying to transfer it anyways, it might have stopped the conduit from overloading. Would it not be smarter to just try and transfer less energy in the first place? I think we'd have issues with opening the conduit in that case. We should have drastically rethought our approach after the first time. I'm glad we're having this revelation now instead of at any other time. Maybe given the multi-phase structure of the ritual, it's obvious now that we needed to shift the ways in which we were utilizing energy instead of just boosting the amount we were trying to pump into it. Maybe I'm just talking in circles here, but I still believe this is viable, just maybe not with this equipment. Have you got a pen on you? I have to write this down somewhere. I don't believe it's worth it to keep up trying to make this work. I agree that's probably possible, but what? I can't bear the thought of you getting yourself killed by trying this again. You've already gotten close to hurting yourself twice, but I didn't end up hurting myself, so it's okay. Yes, because I took the hit, both times. And as long as you're trying this, you're going to keep hurting people. And eventually you'll get to the point where you can't bear to see anyone else get hurt through your recklessness, so you'll use yourself as a test subject, and you will die. Get it into your head, damn it. You want to know what it's like to be on the other side of this? Wishing for one more day? One more good day where you can think straight enough to worry about saying goodbye to your friends for the last time? I keep telling everyone that I'm fine with this, that my time was up anyways. Guess what? It's a lie. I was lying to myself and to everyone else. I am terrified of leaving. And I'm pissed off too. Of course I'm pissed off. One life was never enough for me. I feel incredibly guilty, Maddie. Any failing of yours is mine because I didn't teach you well enough. I'm too far gone to fix things, but not too far gone to care. Please, give me this. Don't throw everything away. Nothing is more important than this. Just don't. If you want to respect my memory, all you need to do is remember me. My life's work is the cafe, not this ritual. And I'll be damned if I let you throw that away or throw yourself away just to stroke your own ego. My only regret is chasing that power myself. Stretching myself thin to find extra time, and for what? Some overblown sense of achievement? I regret it. And as I stand on the cusp of oblivion, I realize that I am afraid for the first time. It's new, Maddie, and it burns. I don't want to go. I want one more day. Just one more day. After all this, after you kept me here against my will without asking me, without taking a second to check whether I was okay with it at the end, I can't bring myself to take that last step without being pushed. Isn't that ridiculous? It's not. I really am losing it, huh? Everything about me is drifting away. Che, it's not. I'm sorry. Let me finish. I shouldn't have forced you to stay. You're right. Everything you've said is fair and valid and understandable. Except for one thing. You might not feel like it, but you're still the Che I know and love. Doing your best to take care of everyone, keeping them safe from anything that get in their way, and giving them the space to work things out themselves when they need to. I tried to follow your example, but I guess I didn't stick the landing on that last bit. Wish I could give this another shot, right from the start. Ellipses. You said earlier that having me in your life was a privilege. Che, the privilege is all mine. You feel guilty for this, and that's fair, but you've changed my life for the better in 1,000 different ways. And I think a lot of other people could say the same. I don't blame you. Maybe one day soon I'll be able to stop blaming myself too. I'm sorry for yelling. You didn't deserve that. It's okay. And, you know, it's okay to be scared. You can't practice dying. There's no test run for that. Even if we pulled off the ritual, it'd only be given you a month or two before things started getting bad again. But desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Ellipses. Heh. Look at us. Pair of saps, aren't we? I feel like it's healthy, like eating your emotional vegetables. Nah, this conversation is more like spinach. As in good in quiche, or I'd kick your ass if I didn't know my foot would fly right through you, you know. Very fair. I don't know if I can do this without you. Do what? All this. I know things feel overwhelming right now. But believe me when I say that you're the most qualified person in the world to run this cafe. The most qualified living person. You fucker. And I'm the most qualified person to make that judgment. So there. Guess I can't argue with that. You sure can't. I fully believe that you're going to do some great things with this place if you can stop Ned from shutting it down. Don't fall into the mindset of preserving broken things just because they remind you of the past, okay? I won't. Atta girl. There's something I need to go do. Come find me when you're ready. I won't be too far away. Alright, I will. Day 3, 4 p.m. The terminal. No, not like that. Like this. You said not to tamp it too hard. Look at it. The coffee just fell out. You gotta tamp it hard enough that it doesn't fall out. You could have told me that before. I didn't expect you to just lightly tap it. Wow. Hey, is this gonna take much longer? I got somewhere to be. It'll be just a moment. It's just a sharp black. Why are you finding this hard? I got this. Acceptable. Sometimes you just have to take what life gives you. Hey, that was meant to be mine, right? We're just exploring synergies and working on disrupting the coffee industry. Please bear with us just a moment longer. Again. No. Don't worry, mate. You're doing fine. Are you gonna make my coffee? Actually, we're gonna close up for tonight. What? But it's not even getting dark yet. What sort of crappy coffee joint closes at 5 in the afternoon? Basically every place in Adelaide, I think. But we're not there. We're in Melbourne, so just go find coffee somewhere else. Unbelievable. What? What gives, old man? I'm closing because I want to spend time with you lot. Including yourself included, Ned. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me. Of course not. How long are you planning to stick around? How much longer, you old curmudgeon? Ned's temper has always been his undoing. I didn't mean it like that. I know. You should all sit down. I'll make us drinks. So I've decided that this is it. I'm gonna head off for a little while. You sound pretty calm about it. I am calm. So I suppose this is... Not yet. Alright. Ooh, fancy straw. Shaped like a treble clef. You want one too? Exclamation point. Yeah, if that's okay. It's not like we have a shortage of curly straws. Well, in that case... Never say I'm not prepared. Amazing! The man knows what his people need. A rare virtue. A good man is hard to find. Well, it's very much appreciated. I'm just glad to see you all smiling. This shouldn't be a depressing memory. For any of us. Day 3, 5 p.m. outside the terminal. Honestly, it's refreshing to see people's attitudes towards all this. I walked in here and felt pretty comprehensively awful, but being here for this, it's helped. I'm glad to hear that. When you see it so often, it's hard not to develop a more relaxed outlook, you know? Every month we get dozens of people like you. Heh. Like us, I suppose. If I had the power to help people be at peace before they move on, why wouldn't I exercise it? You always were too nice. Better too nice than too harsh, generally speaking. Sigh. Not sure about that. I'm sad. I'm sad about this. Just wanted to make that clear. But I'm gonna be okay. Promise. Thank you, little bee. Ellipses. Hey, I need to ask you a favor. Me? All of you, actually. I need you to look out for Maddie. For me. She's gonna need some extra love for a while. Of course! Yeah. Ellipses. Alright. I know you two have had your disagreements. No, it's fine. I'll play nice. You have my appreciation. Heh, can't really say no, can I? Oh, you better bet I'm milking this. I'll allow it. Any chance you'll come along with me? Absolutely not. I've got things to get done here. Can't be gallivanting off to higher planes when I'm drowning in obligations. Ned spend most of his life not taking responsibility for his actions, so this council gig has really been a change of pace for him. Well, I can't blame you for that. Speaking of Maddie, where is she? I think she's upstairs somewhere. Winkies. I'll go up and join her shortly. Will you be coming back down? I don't believe so, no. I see. Is there anything you three would like for me to do for you before we go? Any special requests? Oh, nothing for me. I'd ask for a special drink or something, but I'm sure Maddie knows all the recipes. Recipes are a convenient way to store knowledge and pass it to the next generation. Hopefully they can be trusted with the responsibility of handling it. You'd be correct there, Ashley. All I require from you is your soul. No, you goofball, I need that. Well, in that case, can I have your stuff? You can fight Maddie over it. I say fight, but she'll give up pretty easily. Nice. Ned? Anything you want before I go? Ellipses. Don't leave me. Ned always told himself this day would come, but he never really believed it. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Ned Kelly, tsundere. Don't worry about it. I ought to be doing things for you anyway. Running errands, grabbing milk from the servo, you know. Ha. Man, the sun's getting low. I gotta go in a moment, I'm afraid. Are you scared? Nah. Cool. Ellipses. Oof. Feeling old. Not half as old as you deserve to be feeling, I reckon. Trust me, I'm feeling it. Now, oof. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you too. I wish you didn't have to go. Ellipses. Me too. It's been cool. Definitely. I'm glad you came in. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll see you someday in the future. I'd like that. Not too soon, though. Heh, of course. Ned. I gotta go. I still can't believe you were the first one out of us to go. Life is full of surprises. Wherever I end up, I promise there'll be a place for you there. Any place can be home if you've got friends to keep you company. Ellipses. Thank you. I'll always be proud of you, no matter what. Alright, enough of that. Fair enough. See you around, mate. And you. I am going to pick up a little snack for me and my girlfriend. And the place closes in a little bit, so I am going to get a jump on that. We are going to pause for here, because we only have the rest of this and whatever the next section is, and we will probably finish this game up next week as a consequence. So, we'll leave it here. I bid you adieu and good night. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And meet us back here, same Amon time, same Amon channel. And we will finish out Necrobarista, and I will tell you what we're going to play after this. Small hint, it also involves dead people, because I'm a very predictable man. You all have a good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Rock on Boston. Rock over Chicago. Good night.